Tallulah has announced its water system is now being managed by the Louisiana Health Department. Jasmine Bingham is here with more on what happens next. Jasmine?
Jennifer, the city of Tallulah's water system has had issues with low-grade water and frequent outages. City spokesperson Yvonne Lewis says hope is on the way. Lewis says the matter was urgent for the safety of residents, so they decided on a plan to rehabilitate the water system. When bidding for the project came back too costly, the state suggested taking over system management. Lewis says now they're looking at 3 options through Bonton Associates.
Governor Landry invited us to his office back in April of this year, and he laid out what was called a joint receivership. And what that would mean is LDH, the Louisiana Department of Health, would have a entity or a company appointed by the 6th Judicial District Court here in Madison Parish.
She says Bonton Associates were asked by the state to do a 90-day evaluation of the Tallulah Water System and present a corrective action plan to the Louisiana Department of Health. The options so far are to rehabilitate the current water system, build a new water plant, or partner with a neighboring water system.
Bonton began their receiver process back in October. The 90 days has elapsed. They did turn in their corrective action plan to LDH on January the 7th. I believe with the state behind us that this is going to get done. And the most important thing is that whatever we do it so that we're being able to provide clean water to our citizens.
Bonton Associates and the LDH will determine an affirmative action plan on the 16th. Lewis says while they would like to keep their current water system, they're following the state's lead.